The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests, and are not those of Pesmo Radio, its employees or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements of any radio show programs or products mentioned on air, on our website, social media accounts, and marketing materials. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Pesmo Radio, its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing Pesmo Radio.
Are you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to the Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the Songwriter Show. I'm your host, Sarantos. I'm a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are very important to me, and that's why I'm thrilled to host this show for you every Tuesday evening. I believe that every song is a story. The Songwriter Show is broadcast live on number one ranked Pesmo Radio and has listeners in all 206 countries in the world and every state in America. The station is licensed with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, and Sound Exchange, and has partnerships throughout the music industry, including iHeartRadio and exposure to over 300 million listeners. Tonight's first and only guest is Gerry Mancuso, who's a songwriter, lead guitarist, and guitar teacher, and his music cannot be easily encapsulated in one or two words. Fast, slow, heavy, soft. Think of all the opposites you want, list them, and then consider that a rough description of the musical artist who is set to turn the music scene on its ear with such profoundly unique stylings. Mancuso's drive, fueled by sheer talent, has resulted in some of the most stellar songwriting you're apt to hear. Original yet accessible, entertaining but also smart, and with a message for the soul, Mancuso writes songs for whom even the sky is no limit. With the songs Mancuso writes, it's easy to believe he has a divine mandate and that he will accomplish it.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, Gerry. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Sarantos, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm so happy to talk to you, man. You've got a great story, and I can't wait to talk to you and share your story with the fans.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about when you started playing. How old were you?
I was like probably about 15, going on 16. You know, I started off playing sax in elementary school, and, you know, that was cool, but it didn't really do it for me. You know, I used to go to the jazz band at night, and that's what really inspired me. You know, on like Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, they had jazz band. Yeah. You know, in the school, and, you know, you get up there and do your solo, and, you know, that really inspired me. But the marching band music, it was like so boring for me. But, you know, but
yeah. So you're like Quincy Jones, man. You got that jazz inspiration, huh?
Yeah, I started off on the sax, man. The sax was just, I loved it, you know. I haven't played it in years, but about 15, going on 16, I picked up the guitar and haven't put it down since, you know, just keep going.
Yeah, so guitar's your main instrument, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about when you come up with a song. Do you start with your guitar? Do you start with a metronome? Do you start with lyrics, melody? How do you get going?
That's a really good question. You know, I pretty much start off with a riff, you know, like my music's all instrumental, you know, so I try to make it, you know, progressive. So I'll start off with a guitar riff, you know, to a metronome, and then, you know, it'll lead from there. Like it's usually, I start with the guitars and then I put the drums in, you know, like I'll pretty much write the whole track with, you know, the guitar riffs, and then I'll put the drums in, and then I'll start layering, you know, different, you know, chorded melodies and, you know, some leads. But the leads come last, you know, after sure. the chords, you know, and the guitar parts come the bass line, you know, and I'll pick up the bass guitar, you know, I'll throw a bass line on there, and then after everything is done, all the fills and the drums everything's complete, then I start working on the leads.
And do you, when you're done with this, do you mix it yourself? Do you send it out to be mixed and mastered? How do you work that?
No, I mix everything myself. I mix and master everything. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's like two separate jobs in one,
Yeah.
But you learn over time, like after high school I went to music school for a few months, and I did some audio engineering, took some courses, and learned a few things, but you pretty much learn more from like in the mix, like trial and error, and sitting there. It's very time consuming, but you got to love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's such a underappreciated art, mixing engineers. I think that is almost like the secret sauce, where you can really take something that might not sound radio quality or professional and really take it to that level just by mixing.
Exactly. And it takes years of practice. It's, you don't just do it one night and, it sounds like it's radio ready, it's very frustrating, but the better you get and the more time you put into it, you learn so much. And, that's where you get to that sweet spot.
Yeah, I agree with you. I dabble in mixing, and, I, of course, have learned over the last 7 years more than I ever knew, but it's interesting because I'll send it out to be mixed and I'd be like, yeah, that just sounds so much better than what I did. Even though I think my rough mix is pretty good, it really is an art.
I know. It's like it might sound great in the studio, and then when you take it in the car, it sounds like crap.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot, but you have to keep going back and forth with it. I never actually sent my music to a mix engineer, so I can only imagine, what it would sound like, but I never did. I was just, all right, just keep striving for my own,
Yeah, no, I totally respect that. So I saw that you teach a little bit, right?
Yeah, I used to teach. I haven't taught in a little while, a couple of years, but yeah, I had a business going on where I was, going to their house, and I would teach for like hour sessions. Had a good business going on, about 15 clients at one point, and then you just get real busy with work and life and everything else, and it's hard to keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely, especially as your music just takes a tremendous amount of time and effort, and that's got to be number one. So I totally get that.
Yeah, it really does.
You influenced by any old records or tapes, and if so, which ones?
Old records. Oh man, I remember my father used to play records like when I was growing up. I was really influenced by that Rocky tune.
Oh
back
man,
in the day.
I love that.
I Had a Tiger.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That he used to play those. He used to play a lot of his old stuff. But I wasn't really too much into a lot of his like old music. Like he was into the Platters and a bunch of artists like from back in the day. But I pretty much once I heard Slash play guitar in Guns N' Roses, it was a wrap for me. That's what really got me going.
Oh, totally. How do you decide? I'm sure you make plenty of music. How do you decide which single you're going to release out in the world?
Yeah, it's I got a lot of tracks in my studio, and some of them just don't make the cut. Like certain parts, I'll be like, nah, I don't like this, I don't like that. It's really like you just got to sit down and make a determination what you think sounds good to you. And that's why I tell people all the time, like, if you believe it sounds good to you, go for it, use it, but it's definitely a lot of going back and forth. And I mean, to be honest with you, what I do is I'll write a track, and if I don't like what I'm writing, then I'll write something different, and I'll keep it going until I like it. Yeah. And then once it's all done, I say, all right, let's go. I'm going to push this one out there. So,
cool. I know you've released a few singles, and we're going to listen to one of them in about 10 minutes here, but any one of them your favorite, or what do you want us to know about the singles you're putting out?
Yeah. I recently put out a single, it's called Third Entry Wave, and it's really like motivational. It's heavy. It's got the aggression, but then it breaks into like this like emotional kind of solo in the middle, and goes back into like a progressive, heavy parts, and it's hard to explain. I just, the one we're going to listen to, Drone Wars, I really like that one. Like, it resonates with me, like my soul. It's deep. It's got that haunting effect, yet it's, it takes you to like another level, like another world, kind of. I just try to take my listeners to another dimension. Take them out of their reality for however long they listen, and then they go back after they're done.
Yeah. As an artist, that's what you want to do, and it seems like you're connecting with them. Pamela has a question for you. Our first question of the night for you. She's asking that you do mostly instrumentals. She's asking if you've ever tried to do something with lyrics or singing.
A lot of people ask me that, and no. The answer is no. I never tried to sing. It's never been part of my interest at all. Like my latest record, Prophecy, I did a track with a female vocalist on it. It's called Final Frontiers. It's the last track in the album. And I feel like, that's just not it's not where I'm coming from. Like I'm like solely a, musician.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. So you're from the East Coast, correct?
Yeah, I'm from New York.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what influence that has on your music, good or bad.
It definitely has a good impact on my music, because New York is like, known for, so many different things. It's a pretty hard area. Certain areas in New York, there's some really beautiful areas, but the dense population. I guess some of the aggressiveness comes out of my music. New York might have something to do with that. Just growing up and making sure that you watch your back, kind of thing, and
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. If there's a place in New York, I haven't been there in a few years, but if there's one place you could pick to recommend to me to eat, where would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like Jimmy Hayes Steakhouse.
Okay.
It's in Long Island. It's by Long Beach, not too far from Long Beach.
Okay.
By the water. Great steaks. Like some of the best steaks I've ever had.
All right. I've never heard of that, so I'm definitely going to have to write that down after the show.
Yeah.
How often at this stage of your career do you practice? Do you practice all the time, never, once a day, once a week, or just whenever the mood strikes?
Whenever the mood strikes, to be honest with you. I really don't practice as much as I should. I did a lot of practicing, when I first started playing for like the first, 10 years or so. Like I did a lot of practicing, and being a teacher, as a teacher, you learn by teaching. This is like some kind of psychological thing that goes on. When you teach something, you learn it tenfold, they say.
Yeah.
But I don't really practice that much, to be honest with you. Like I feel like the more I practice, the less time I'll have to write music, so it's not good, so it's not a good thing, but I definitely got to start practicing more. That's for sure. But, I got a lot of stuff in the bank, so to say.
Yeah.
So
and it's a reflex for you too. Sure.
Yeah. Sure. But I feel like I practice while I'm writing, because I'll write a part, and if I have to play something, I'll try to make it, tricky enough for me where it's an exercise that I have to work on.
Yeah, I gotcha. So we got another question here from Jimmy. He's asking, for your live shows, how does it work if you're only doing instrumentals? Well,
you have, you got MP3 players, you got mixers, and, you can even have a playlist, like a set list on your phone, and run it through a mixer through PA speakers. And, it'll already be, it'll be the track with the drums, some of the guitar parts, and you just play like the leads, pretty much like how Buckethead does it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Buckethead.
I'm not familiar with them, but yeah, I kind of get what you're talking about, though.
Yeah,
you have like a backing track, and you play the part that you play.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And honestly, I don't even think that's very different nowadays, because EDM music and people are used to just being on stage and there's just a DJ. Whereas 20 years ago, if you just had someone up there being a DJ, people would be like, what is that? That's not a band.
That's not a band, right?
Yeah, I think what you're doing now is fine. It's accepted. People don't mind it anymore.
No, they don't. It's more in the mainstream.
Yeah, and you're playing your part. I saw Ed Sheeran play, and James Blunt played before him, and he kept making fun how Ed Sheeran saves a crap load of money because it's just him, right? I mean, you have a band, you hire it. That's its own set of problems.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I did a wedding recently, and a friend of mine, and I just played right through the PA. I had backing tracks. Certain parts were taken out in the mix that I made sure were out so that I could play them live. Yeah. You determine what you're going to play, and you take it out of the mix if you need to. That's how it works. Yeah, I mean, most of us use a DAW anyway, and if you're in Logic or Pro Tools, you just mute the guitar part or whatever you're doing, and it's
like you have
it down, and then there you go. Yeah.
The only downside to that, I guess, is that if you don't have a live band, you can't ad-lib. You got to keep up with what the band is doing or the MP3 is doing, I guess.
Right. Yeah. What the track is doing. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You got to be right on top of that.
Tell us about the song we're going to hear in a couple of minutes. What inspired it? What do you want us to take away from it?
I wrote it after there was some situation going on the other side of the world where the drones, there was some like bombing going on with drones, and it just sounded right to me. Like it just, after I wrote the song, because I usually write the name of the song after I write the song. I'll finish the track completely, and then after I listen to it, that's when the names come to me. But sometimes the names come to me beforehand, but it's not likely.
Sure.
This one came after the fact. It has a lot of different depths within it, and there's a lot of emotion behind it. And if you just push the stop button on your day and sit down and listen, take you to another place, another world. That's where I'm coming from. Let the listener determine where they want it to take them. That's pretty much how I usually do, because everybody has a different interpretation of the feel and memories it brings you. That's the beauty of instrumental music, because you're not following lyrics that make you think about something. You determine your own thoughts.
Yeah. No, it's very true, man. I completely agree with you. I put out an instrumental CD at the end of the year every year, and it's cathartic. It's freeing. I've done a solo instrumental, I've done a movie instrumental, TV instrumental, I did a sleep instrumental CD. And to be honest with you, for the most part, that gets rated much better than the stuff with lyrics.
Really?
I agree with you. It lets your mind take you where it takes you. Sometimes if you're hearing words and lyrics, that's trying to take you to a certain place that sometimes the music isn't.
Yeah, you're forced to listen and put yourself in that position of what the singer is trying to convey.
Yeah.
I let the music take you to wherever you want to go, so to speak.
No, I totally get it, man. All right, brother. We're going to take a listen to your song right now, and then we'll come back and talk about it, okay?
Awesome.
All right, here we go. Check this out, guys. Gerry, that was very cool, man. That's definitely powerful stuff.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. Before I forget to ask, give us your contact information. Where can people buy your music? Where can they check you out, reach out to you if they want to?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. But I just recently put my website out, so it's gerrymancuso.com. So if you go there, it has the links to my press and my music on Spotify and YouTube. All the links are in there, but you could put your email in there to connect, to get updates and everything like that. So yeah, gerrymancuso.com. But you could search me on YouTube, search me on any of the platforms I'm on, pretty much,
okay.
Like the main platforms.
Yeah. What does the next year hold for you? Anything you're going to do that you want to share with the fans? Any surprises? Any new projects coming up?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be, dropping a new album. I would say like next year, probably like about first quarter next year, and I might be doing a collaboration with a couple of surprise guests. Keyboard players, singers, things like that, guitar players. I like doing the collab thing.
Yeah,
every now and
absolutely.
again you have somebody featured. It's a good feeling. But
it gets the blood going, right? And you get to try something different.
Yeah. You feed off of the energy of the other. That's what it is.
Yeah. What's your go-to comfort food? Anything you want to share with us from New York there?
Comfort food? Oh man, yeah. I love seafood. I love clams. I love linguine. I got an Italian background, so linguine and clams, or marinara, shrimps, things like that. Steaks,
Can't go wrong with a good steak. Yeah.
Man.
I think you named all the basic food groups there, right?
pretty much the stuff I like. I'm trying to eat healthier, like lay off the breads and everything like that, but I can't get enough of pasta, man. I just can't.
Yeah. No, I hear you. One of the questions I like to ask every guest is about scams. Tell us about a scam that you might have fallen for, one that's rampant in New York, just so we can protect each other.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of scams out there. People want to take your money up front and to provide a service, and then you never get the service. Whatever that might be. You got to be careful who you collaborate with, because they might say, "Oh yeah, give me your work," and then you never hear from them again. So you got to be careful and get a lawyer if you need to, and just make sure you're dealing with somebody who, is legit, basically. Yeah, but it's hard.
How is New York now in the music scene? Is it a lot of scams, a lot of, people getting taken advantage of, or is it any better now that with all the streaming and it seems like there's more transparency in the music business than there ever has been?
Yeah, there's definitely more transparency. There's definitely a live situation setting going on, in like Lower Manhattan, and but pretty much, it's changed a lot, where a lot of musicians are going solo and using the platforms to get their music out there. But there's still a lot of bands doing their thing, but right now with COVID-19, nobody's playing shows, so it's everybody's just huddled in their apartment or their house, and doing live shows from from their own place,
Yeah. And it's hard to monetize that. I mean, you can a little bit, but it's definitely cutting into everyone's income.
Oh yeah, they're not making much, playing from their living room, but you got to stay true to the fans, you know what I mean? It's not really so much about the money, but depending on how you look at it, I guess,
Yeah. Gerry, tell us, if you could pick one superpower, what would you pick and why?
Superpower. It would be the ability to learn information at a rapid speed. if I had to learn a new module, or if I had to, read a book in like 2 seconds, or just, learn as much as possible. And I think that would be a great idea.
Musical or anything?
Anything, but
anything.
If we had to narrow it down, it would obviously be musical related for me.
Yeah.
Like double my skills in like a week or something like that. That would be awesome.
Tell us about the coolest book you've read in the last few years.
I do a lot of audiobooks, like self-help books, drive, determination type of books. Trying to think of some names. I watch a lot of YouTube. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really read books like that, like I used to. I do everything audiobooks or YouTube. YouTube's got everything. Like if you just want to listen to but I do listen to a lot of motivational speakers. Denzel Washington's a good motivational speaker. The Rock has some good information. But yeah, man, it's it's out there. You just gotta.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What you like.
It's amazing the stuff you can learn on YouTube just by typing something, and obviously if it pops up at the top, usually it's pretty relevant, and it's amazing the things you can learn about mixing or about chords or just anything you want to learn. Exactly.
Like you type it in, it's right there for you, whatever it might be, if it's music, if it's not music related, like I just bought a drum machine. It's called a Machine from Native Instruments. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's huge and it's technical, and I had to go on YouTube to figure out how to use it, but basically I want to do some more like electronic beats kind of over analog guitars. So that's another thing that I'm interested in doing in the future too. But most of my music's all like live drum sounds.
That's cool. Do you have a drummer buddy that does the live drum sounds, or things you've recorded in the past that you're using?
No, I'm using, I synchronize everything myself. Like I have drum programs that I use, which are, actual live drum sounds. And then I'll configure the beats and sequence everything,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Time consuming, but a lot of fun though.
Yeah, that's true. Anything that you're watching on Netflix or any TV show you're hooked on at the moment?
No, I'm more of a movie guy. I like watching a lot of movies.
What's something you've watched in the last month or so you're going to suggest to us?
Oh man, there was one that I saw the other day. Let me see if I can remember what it was called. Upgrade.
Oh, I saw that. That was awesome.
That was sick.
Oh
movie,
my God,
right?
yeah. That's a total guy movie, man. I love that movie.
Yeah. No, my girlfriend digged it too, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. What's his name? The guy from The Arrow was in it. I
know his face. He's been in a few good movies, but like they upgraded him. He's like a robot, like took over his body and everything. So cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I hadn't even heard of that movie. I just saw it. I don't remember if I rented it on iTunes or where I saw it a couple months ago, but it's just one of those movies I had no idea what it was, but it was very enjoyable.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen something like that. It really I was like, wow,
Yeah. Other than music, what do you most look forward to in your free time?
I look forward to stretching, working out, intermittent fasting.
Okay.
I've been, the gym's closed, obviously, COVID and everything like that. But, I would go to the gym like 4 or 5 times a week. And I practice intermittent fasting too, which is, where you eat, you have like an eating window and a fasting window throughout the day.
Sure.
It's supposedly very good for health, longevity, and, a lot of good stuff for the body. So, I just, and just learning, I try to just learn as much as I can about, anything that's interesting, anything that I could use in life. I don't like to waste time. Free time doesn't come often, so got to use it properly.
That's true. Tell us if you could pick one person to get a guitar lesson from, who would it be?
Ooh, wow, oh my God, so many guitar players out there. Who would it be? Live or dead?
Yeah, live
or dead. Oh,
dead or alive? Anybody?
Dead or alive? Yeah, I know. I would love to get one from Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Okay.
Stevie Ray just like, hits you with the blues. I mean, like I don't really do too much blues, but he just had some kind of feel about him that just, took over, But,
yeah.
If you said, give me 10, I can give you 10 right off the bat. But giving you one, I mean, I might even regret that. I might have chose somebody else later, but who knows?
You said a very important word right now. You said feel. And I think good musicians and good bands, they just have this feel about them. It's like not about hitting the chords perfectly. It's like the way they play together. It's just this feel. And that's what I think experience really gets you.
Yeah, feel is where it's at. Like there's a lot of guitar players out there that play like Robotnik kind of, and it sounds like like a robot. But there's not too many out there that have the feel or the finesse that stands out.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. All right, Gerry, my friend.
Is important too.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. Give us your contact information again, your website. Where can people reach out to you?
Yeah, you can go to my website, gerrymancuso.com, or look me up on YouTube, Gerry Mancuso, Spotify. Just type my name in, find me, pretty much all the platforms. But Sarantos, it was definitely it's awesome coming on the show. I appreciate you having me.
You're welcome, my friend. It was great having you, and love to have you on again anytime.
Definitely.
All right. So to any listeners out there who may be artists, if you wish to be on the Songwriter Show, please just reach out to me. I want to thank you all for listening, and thank you again for your questions. I hope everyone's unique story gets heard around the world. My name is Sarantos. Please join me every Tuesday night to hear other amazing artists share their fascinating behind-the-scenes stories right here at the Songwriter Show. And tonight, I'm going to leave you with a rock song I just released tonight, actually. It's about a mistress whose every kiss is a curse of light. Once bitten, you're out of control. And I got to be honest, this is probably my favorite song on my CD this year. There's just something about a good rock song that makes me feel happy. I hope you have a great night. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
In darkness on broad daylight. It doesn't really matter, 'cause it never feels right. Each time a new mask, I let her back in, like a trusted old friend. Man, I'm stuck in passing. Once bitten, out of control, infected my immortal soul. Drowning in a black hole, how low can I go? The clock moves so slowly, mind heavy and insane. As we play this deadly game, it hits me, I am the prey. Every kiss a curse of light. Don't care 'cause I just need a hit. I just really need a jump start. So take a syringe of adrenaline, straight to my heart. All that's left of me, with each siren I ignore, is a shell full of scars, lonely wanting more. All I can do is pretend I'm not worried. I try hard to act so cool, though I'm not worthy. Once bitten, out of control, infecting my immortal soul. Drowning in a black hole, how low can I go? The clock moves so slowly, mind heavy just really need a jump start. So I take a syringe of adrenaline straight to my heart. Don't wait until it's too late. Every Ferris wheel stops turning. Every love has an expiration date. Wreckage will take years to fix. Nights all but over. I crave the rush again. I'm barely sober. Maybe find myself sometime in the same damn place. Real soon tonight. Play the same damn game. The clock moves so slowly. Mind heavy and insane. As we play this deadly game, like it's me, I am the brain. Every kiss a curse of line. No catch, I just need a hand. I just really need a jump start. So I take a syringe of adrenaline straight to my heart. Straight to my heart. Straight to my heart. Straight to my heart.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.
Thank you for choosing Pesmo Radio.